Bang, bang. What's up, guys? Lunch money time. Episode 100 with the beautiful and intelligent Polina Marinova, Pompliano. We've gone through a lot during this pandemic. We started this show. We got married. I probably annoyed the hell out of Polina. She's still here. Smart as ever. Entertaining as ever. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. And hopefully that's what this show's been doing for you. Don't forget, it's sponsored by BlockFi. BlockFi's got 3 products. Buy and sell crypto on their crypto exchange. Or you can deposit crypto and get a US dollar loan in against your collateral. Or you can deposit crypto or stablecoin and earn up to 8.6% APY on an interest-bearing account. Go check out BlockFi at blockfi.com/lunchmoney. No brainer. Go do it. BlockFi.com/lunchmoney. Hey girl, what's up?
I'm sad today
Why?
because we didn't do anything for the people for the 100th episode. That's your fault.
I got something coming, but we're not going to do it today for the 100th episode. But we hit 100 episodes.
What do you have coming?
Did you ever think? Plana thinks I don't plan anything. It's Plana's birthday, though.
It's not my birthday.
August 27th is her birthday.
4th.
People don't realize I've been saying the wrong birthday every day, a different day.
And now people in the comments are like, oh, my birthday's on the 21st too. And I'm like...
August 24th is Plana's birthday. Today's 100 episodes. What's going on in the world? Let's get into this.
The Fed faces a major challenge in making its new inflation strategy official. And apparently, the U.S. Central Bank will be faced with a delicate balancing act if it opts to embrace a more relaxed view on inflation.
What are they saying is going to be the new one? Oh, wait, they want to do more than 2% inflation.
They want to ramp up the inflation target from the current 2% where it has been for 4 years. What does this mean? You love inflation. Talking about inflation.
No, I hate inflation.
They love talking about inflation.
This is crazy talk. 2% inflation means that if we are hitting 2%, the bottom 20% of people are experiencing anywhere between 6 to 10% inflation. Every socioeconomic bucket does not experience inflation the same. Rich people actually benefit from inflation. Poor people end up actually getting hurt by inflation. So,
wait, what do you consider poor people and rich people?
So if you basically let's take the socioeconomic status of people and you cut it into 20% kind of buckets. So the top 20% of Americans, the top 20 to 40%, right? The middle 20%, and there's 2 buckets at the bottom. The bottom 40% of Americans get crushed by inflation. 45% of Americans don't own any stocks. 50% of Americans can't come up with $400 emergency payment. They live their life paycheck to paycheck in all cash. And so if you're going to raise inflation, which these geniuses want to do to try to get the velocity of money going again, what you're going to do is you're just going to continue to widen the wealth inequality gap. So the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer. And when that occurs at 1.5–2% inflation, if you then go above 2% inflation, all you're doing is you're just making it worse. And so this idea of like, oh, let's solve the problem by driving more inflation, I just don't agree with that's the solution.
Someone told CNBC the alternative strategy is to say, well, let's look over a long-term horizon. We've been missing our inflation goal for a decade, so maybe we can run hot for a little while. The challenge with that is that it can lead people to say the Fed is not serious about fighting inflation anymore. Inflation is going to get out of control.
Yeah, just so we're clear, every single currency that's failed, it's because of hyperinflation. And so I'm not saying that they're going to hyperinflate away the currency, but what I am saying is that money's a belief system. And the second that people believe that you're going to drive higher levels of inflation, they actually believe it, right? What are they going to do? They're going to leave the dollar and go into other assets.
How far do you think we are from ever becoming a Zimbabwe?
I don't know if it happens in our lifetime.
Okay, so it's not...
It's possible. Oh, it's definitely possible. I mean, look, here's a scenario, right? What if all of a sudden they let inflation start creeping up to 3%, 4% before they actually start to do any sort of quantitative tightening? They go to start doing quantitative tightening and raising rates and all this kind of stuff. And as they do that, the market starts gyrating and they realize, wait a second, we can't do that. So we actually have to drop rates again. We have to print more money because we're addicted to it. Now you're already at 3% inflation or whatever. Then you just accelerate it. And then what happens when the official CPI numbers get to 6, 7, 8%? The bottom 20% of Americans would literally be seeing 20+% inflation at that point. Like, what are you going to do? And so this is just a really slippery slope. And this idea that like we're the masters of the universe and we have full control over the economy and we can manipulate it how we want.
Guess what doesn't have inflation?
What?
Bitcoin.
Facts. Well, it's disinflationary. That's a whole nother thing. We're not going to go there.
Let's not go there.
That was good. That was a good answer. Woo!
So
let's go. What's next?
1 in 4 hotels can't pay their mortgages. The hotel industry said it faces a default disaster in which 25% of hotels are at risk of foreclosure. So there's this one hotel we've been talking to in New York, and first they were going to reopen in September. Now I got an email. They're like, no, we're going to reopen in October, and they keep pushing it, and they might not even open then. So what's going to happen to all these hotels?
I mean, look, this is what happens. You basically are dependent on travel, right? Like that's how hotels work. And so you've got a mortgage and your revenue is supposed to be more than your mortgage payment. And then you just make the difference as cash flow. And then you're basically paying off the mortgage. Well, if your revenue goes to zero, you can't pay your mortgage. Like, surprised that it's only 25% of hotels are currently being hurt.
So in May, the world's largest hotel chain, Marriott International, said the pandemic is having a more severe and sustained financial impact on Marriott's business than 9/11 and the 2008 financial crisis combined.
That's not surprising, though.
Really?
Well, 9/11 was a New York-based thing.
But that's also travel related.
Yes, but I don't...
But it didn't affect them.
Yeah, but I also don't think that there was that... Like, yes, people were scared, but I don't think that it stopped people from traveling, like everyone, right? There was some percentage of people who stopped traveling, but it still didn't do that. The 2008, 2009 crisis, like people lost their jobs, whatever. So again, like there was a dent in travel, but it's not like this. I mean, like travel went to zero. Right? There was hotels
for a prolonged period.
Well, there was hotels who literally closed their doors and said, we are not open for weeks, if not months at a time, right? And so when you get in that scenario, like you're just at zero revenue. How do you pay your mortgage? You can't.
Yeah.
All right, what's up with SpaceX?
SpaceX has raised $1.9 billion in new funding. The company had been reported to be in the funding process earlier, which pledged the post-money valuation of SpaceX at $46 billion following this raise.
It's kind of low.
What's low? The valuation?
What is the future value of the business that ends up colonizing Mars?
Right, but like you got to be a little reasonable. What if it doesn't work?
Well, of course, but like that's the whole idea of venture capital, right? Is you're basically looking at like where can it go?
Yeah.
And he's already at a $46 billion valuation. Like, what are the odds that SpaceX becomes a $1 trillion company? My guess is pretty high, actually. Right.
Well, with their new, thing with the rocket and the astronauts and NASA, people are more confident.
Well, just think about it, right? Like they were the first company to do reusable rockets. They've secured a bunch of these contracts. Like they for sure have the mind share when it comes to this stuff. And so I think that you're just looking at a situation where it's a company that's worth $46 billion today. If they continue to execute, right? Big if, they got to do the work they got to do. They got to get Starlink satellites up. They got to get all that stuff, done. Like, $46 billion is going to be a blip on the radar, I think, for where they end up.
Right. So let's not get ahead of the horse and just ride it out until it gets to $1 trillion. Let's see what you can do, Elon.
Fair. All right. What's next?
Johnson & Johnson will buy Momenta Pharmaceuticals for $6.5 billion in cash to bolster its portfolio of treatments for autoimmune diseases. Yeah, like what you said yesterday, there's a boom if you're creating a vaccine, if you're creating some sort of medicine.
but these guys, they don't have anything to do with COVID, right? From what I understand.
I don't think so. It's more like autoimmune diseases.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is that the shares are up 68% before the bell this morning, and 68% is that brings it to just below the offering price. So Johnson & Johnson is going to pay $52 a share, and shares rose to $51.98. Talk about market efficiency, but that's a 68% increase from where it was trading yesterday.
I think immunity and autoimmunity and those kind of like therapies are gonna explode. I think that's my theory.
I just like technology-driven science in the sense of can you do things to the human body's a machine.
Bolster the immune system.
Well, the body's a machine, right? Your brain is like software. If you think about it, your body's a machine. Just like we work on a car, why can't we work on a body?
Yeah,
right? And do all kinds of things and use technology and stuff. Like I think all that's going to happen. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson is really interesting. They acquired this. It was a robotics company that does surgery, very, very precise surgery. And they've been crushing it a little bit.
By the way, whose tricep looks bigger right here? Huh.
Mine.
Yeah, you got a pretty big tricep there.
All
I
right.
have to get in the gym. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
MIT and Boston Dynamics team up on Dr. Spot, a robot for remote COVID-19 vital sign measurements. So this is, again, the robot with the little iPad on its forehead. And what is it going to do?
Is it going to measure the temperature?
I think so. I think it's going to take your vital signs. So your temperature.
So it's the Boston Dynamics 4-legged dog-like robot.
We've talked about him before.
Use of contactless vital sign monitoring equipment for taking measurements. It's outfitted with a tablet to make it possible for doctors and nurses to have face-to-face interviews with patients while they conduct exams.
That's so nice.
This hyperlocal version of telemedicine has the potential to not only reduce the risk of exposure for medical personnel.
It can measure skin temperature, respiratory rate, heart rate, and blood oxygen saturation all at once. Yeah. I love this dog.
It's fake.
But I love it.
You also like the Roomba.
I know. I've gotten really close with the Roomba.
I don't like that thing.
And every time he says something mean about it, I get mad.
Thing didn't do its job. Let's go. Can't
yes,
yell
it
at
does.
it. By the way, the robotics in medicine, that's another thing that'll be big. Agreed?
Robotic surgery, robots who take your vitals.
Yeah, I like it. All right, what's up with GPT-3?
Okay. A college student used GPT-3 to write fake blog posts and ended up at the top of Hacker News. What's Hacker News?
Hacker News is basically, think of it as like a popular website for nerds. And if you get to the top, there's tons of traffic. And there's all sorts of people who spend all day long trying to figure out how do they get to the top of this ranked feed. Or not, I guess, yeah, it is ranked feed so they get the traffic.
So this college student, Liam Poor, was trying to demonstrate that the content produced by GPT-3 could fool people into believing it was actually written by a human, and it was super easy, actually, which was the scary part. I believe that a robot could be a better writer than some humans.
Well, definitely that. But also, this is a little misleading. I don't want to say it's misleading,
Wait,
but
why?
So there's two components. One is they wrote a blog post that seems like a human wrote it, which is, they use GPT-3. It's incredible. I absolutely think that if you have the chance, go and play with it, and you'll kind of have your mind
but you know
blown.
what it couldn't do? My blog post.
Okay. But then the second piece is getting to the top of Hacker News. You can kind of game it a little bit in terms of when you post, getting a bunch of people to go vote for it. There's some of that that goes on. To number one, yeah. I mean, number one means that there was quality to it for sure. And so I think that it's pretty cool to see this happening.
So he said that only one person reached out to ask if the post was AI generated, although several commenters did guess GPT-3 was the author. Huh. I wonder if we're going to live in a world where you're like, did a human do that or was it a robot?
Are you kidding? I already live in that world.
Really?
Yeah,
I never guessed.
I see things all the time. It's like basically saying, is that Photoshop or is that a real photo?
My guess.
Right?
But I never think about that.
I get memes sent to me all the time, and I got to figure out if they're real or not.
Mm.
All right, what's up? What joke you got for us today?
Man, I don't have a good one.
Uh-oh. What do you call a cat on the rocks?
Meow.
One cool cat.
Wait. I don't get it. On the rocks?
Yeah.
Oh, on the rocks, like on a drink.
Come on, Pola. Come on.
What do you call two birds in love?
Tweethearts.
Okay,
you
so
see
what
that
are
finger guns right there?
So what is one thing you've learned from Lunch Money in the last 100 episodes?
The best things in life are to do with the people you spend the most time with and love.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a master class in suave.
I know what you are doing. You're fooling no one. What is mine? You didn't even ask me, but I asked myself. Mine is getting to know so many new people in the comments and showing off my triceps.
All right. I just wanted to sit here and say nice things about you. You've been a fantastic co-host through 99 of the 100 episodes. That's right. The first one she wasn't here. She
let me just say that 100 episodes of Lunch Money coincides with 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So
That's like saying, and I have $100 in my pocket, so therefore those things are all correlated.
No, that's literally directly correlated.
We're going to have a math class with Polina and teach her about correlations.
If it was just you by yourself, do we think?
What would be better is if you said that it was causated. There was causation, not correlation.
There's causation and correlation.
Okay, guys, that's it for Lunch Money today. We'll see you guys tomorrow, episode 100.
Thank you for watching.
Well, while she's trying to get rich to us, let's just trying to get our lunch money right. God, see you tomorrow.
I should have brought my lunchbox today. Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.